Hey everyone, it's me, Ivonne Emil Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, and Mercury retrograde strikes again. Yep. So I did mention, okay, when Mercury turned retrograde on September 26th in Libra, the sign of social connection and interaction, okay, that this Mercury retrograde had the potential to show up in a really big kaboom type of way. It was not going to be your normal, typical Mercury retrograde. This one was going to have a significant intensity behind it because Mercury retrograde was squaring, okay, abrasively connecting with Pluto retrograde at the time in Capricorn. Now, since September 26th, we have had Pluto retrograde station come to a complete stop, which I'm going to tap into in just a little bit. And then today starts moving direct. Yes, moving direct, slowly, but moving direct. Now, Mercury retrograde, it pertains to, communication, travel, vehicles, contracts, data, technology. I'm trying to think of what else. Merchants. Okay, so anything related to those topics, it's the getting of one thing and one place to another, or one person, one thing to a place. With, you know what I mean? It's logistics. Okay, it's the movement. Okay, when it's retrograde, we can expect delays and challenges and issues and all sorts of stuff to manifest. And with Pluto squaring, okay, well, Mercury is actually squaring Pluto retrograde, we have this essence of Mercury retrograde duking it out with Pluto, okay, in Capricorn. And that means that the Mercury retrograde was going to show up in an intense, powerful, not your small type of Mercury retrograde, but it's a boom right in your face. Don't expect it happening, because Pluto energy is Plutonic. Okay, it shows up in a big way. It's powerful, it's intense, and it can also break things down to the nitty gritty, kind of like when vultures get a hold of roadkill and then there's nothing left but the bones. Pluto does the same thing. It either breaks things down to micro levels where you're going to have to rebuild, or it just shows up in a super intense, powerful way. Either way, Pluto is not a gentle energy, whether it's retrograde, station, or direct. It just happens to feel a little bit better when it's going direct. But Pluto is an intense planet, and its involvement in this, Mercury retrograde in Libra, we have had, for example, last week, we had Facebook and Instagram and all these social platforms just have all of these challenges, so we couldn't connect socially. Yeah, we had, issues with communication. There's technology issues. So, but now, okay, Mercury retrograde strikes again, because we have this airline, SouthWest Airlines here in the States. SouthWest Airlines, with experiencing a significant amount of cancellation of flights and delaying flights. Now, the reason behind that, I'm not going to go into it. Some people are saying it's because of, mandates and strikes and contractual issues, which is also a Mercury retrograde, topic. But some are saying that, hey, it was reported it was due to weather. It doesn't really matter, because what matters is that Mercury retrograde, the planet of communication, right? Getting people to one place or another, getting things to one place to another, boom, retrograde slows things down, challenges. There's been tons of cancellations. I had a client who was in Utah, was planning on flying home, had a connecting flight. They told her, hey, you're going to miss your flight. So they put her on a different flight, and then on her connection, she was delayed for something like 8 hours, and then they finally canceled the flight. And at that point, she was like, I need to get home. So she went to go rent a car. No cars available except this huge, ginormous, like, business van, and I'll take it, right? So she took quite a few people with her. Good for her. But this is a type of stuff that Mercury retrograde, okay, tends to manifest, but really big when Pluto is connecting to Mercury retrograde. Yep, shows up big. So this retrograde was either going to be about big things happening like this, Okay, like the SouthWest Airline delays of flights and cancellation of flights, or the Facebook or social platforms, having this breakdown and just imploding. Okay, technologically, I don't know how to describe it, but it wasn't working, right? And or it could show up in small ways that have like major consequences. Okay, so for example, I had a client who I kept reminding her, check your tires during Mercury retrograde, please check your tires. And sure enough, it just slipped her mind. And what happened was that she had this tiny little nail in her tire, and it created a boom. Yeah, she's fine. Everything's okay. But this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about with this Mercury retrograde in Libra squaring Pluto. All right. Now, I know I'm really excited about the astrology manifesting, literally manifesting, because I anticipated this to happen. But I know that there's been a lot of people that have been, inconvenienced or have lost, their money on flights or whatever it may be. So I'm not trying to make light of that, but it gets me really excited when the astrology literally manifests in the skies. Well, manifests in our life based how it was in the skies, but you know what I mean. So moving on to Pluto station. Good news. As I mentioned, Pluto is now moving direct. Yes, slow, but direct. And I don't know about you all, but with this Pluto station, remember, station means that the planet is not moving. It's literally sitting in the same degree for an extended period of time. And when a planet is stationed, it's more powerful, it's more intense. And with this Pluto station, for me, it always tends to manifest in like being lethargic and just not having enough energy, breaking things down, right? I was lethargic. I did not get anything done this week, like nothing. I could not literally keep my eyes open the majority of the week. I have not slept as much as I have this past week in a really long time, probably when Pluto was doing something crazy, before. But I managed to roll out of bed, get some clothes on, and work with some clients. But other than that, I did not get anything done. The other part of this is the Saturn station, right? Saturn also represents delays and challenges and making things move really, really slowly. And when it's retrograde, it's almost as if nothing is moving, like stop, like complete stop. And that's what happened to me last week. Like nothing got done. I was super tired, super lethargic, didn't work on anything. It was just not pleasant. And then Mercury retrograde, especially for those of us that have Mercury retrograde in our natal charts, and then mine has to be in a very sensitive point in my chart. These Mercury retrogrades just agitate me mentally, like to no end. I could not sit to meditate. I could not focus. I couldn't concentrate. And my eyelids were drooping, right? Felt like my life was like coming in and just kind of like squeezing me in, which is what Saturn, makes us do. And this is the most energy I have had in over a week. I am enjoying it. All right. So when does Saturn station? When does Saturn move direct? On the 15th. So expect some, again, forward movement with Saturn. Again, it's not a fast moving planet. And in that in of itself, it's not a planet that's going to allow you to do things like, take off out of the gate. No, but it's better than retrograde. And then on the 14th, one day before, we have Jupiter retrograde. So Jupiter retrograde station to go direct. I'll talk about that in another video. But then we end Mercury retrograde on the 19th. So we are halfway through Mercury retrograde. It's shown up in big, big ways, bigger than it usually does, I think. But I would love to hear your stories. Please share them with me. How are you experiencing this Mercury retrograde, Pluto station, Saturn station, and what is going on? Yeah. So if you want to learn more about me or about your chart, you will be able to visit me at Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling as soon as I get my website up and running, because again, nothing happened last week. And in the meantime, you can contact me at info, silvermoonastrology@gmail.com. All right, everyone, take care and let's keep plowing through this Mercury retrograde. We'll get there. All right, everyone, take care. Blessed be.